Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be looking at the high grade 1/4 scale Strike Freedom Gundam by the GK brand. This is a bootleg or a knockoff version. One commenter in my unboxing video of this actually said that this is a bootleg version of the P Bandai Deluxe Edition, but this one doesn't have all the beam firing effects. It only has the Wings of the Skies and the Dragoon effects, which I'll get on to later. And it doesn't have the shiny metallic finish for the gold parts. It only has the semi-metallic flat gold finish, which looks very dull and lacks brightness. So here it is, built straight out of the box, and all the stickers are applied. All I can say is that I'm kinda liking this more compared to the Bandai regular release, or at least the one I have in my collection. This kit is not necessarily a perfect copy, but it has solved some major issues I have with the Bandai release, or at least some of them. So I have here the high-grade Cosmic Era Strike Freedom Gundam. Again, this is just a standard release. I got this kit way back in 2016, hence the highly noticeable discoloration in the white parts. Looking from afar, or even while holding it, you could have this mistaken for the real one, especially when you're not keen into details. Well, you see, aside from the obvious difference with their coloration, the only distinct features I could differentiate them with are the facial details. Let's take a closer look. So again, here is Bandai release. So when it comes to the facial details, the Bandai release is still superior. It is clear which one actually looks better, but this one isn't really that far behind. Well, you decide which one is better in your opinion. Here they are side by side. Another difference they have, which made me like the GK version more, is that despite being back heavy, it doesn't affect the upper body that much. Well, you see, with Bandai, there is a large gap in between. The wings are too heavy, and the upper portion of the torso keeps getting pulled backwards. So there's a gap in here. Unlike with the GK brand, although it gets pulled backwards a little, it doesn't have that huge gap in between. Or maybe it is just for the time being. Or it could be that sooner or later, the secure hold will also wear off. Actually, with the Bandai one, I do not recall not having that issue. Maybe for this, only time will tell. When it comes to the plastics, the GK brand doesn't feel like a cheap type which may break easily. They kinda look and feels the same in terms of the texture. Though with the GK brand, you'll just see some print lines or some seam lines where they shouldn't be. And in some areas, the surfaces tend to have a flaky appearance, but it doesn't affect the texture. On the feet, here is an example of one visible print line. But overall, I think that the plastic quality is actually really good for a knockoff at least. Another problem I have with the Bandai version is that many parts seems to pop off easily. Unlike with this one, it doesn't have any loose parts when shaken like this. With that, I think that is a good sign, at least for a bootleg. When it comes to the build process, it was fairly easy. Just had a little bit hard time putting the head together because of the small parts. And other than that, everything else went smoothly. When it comes to the articulation, every point and functionality is just same with the Bandai one. So I think I'll skip on that. Now let's move over to the accessories and some extras. First one we have here are two open palm hands. For the next one, we have the beam rifles. The handles are hidden and they're kinda difficult to pop out. They can also be combined to form a long-range beam rifle. So it should look like this. With this, it can be stored in the side of the waist. You will need to slide back the side skirts first and then attach the beam rifle. So it will look like this. And of course, this one goes into the right side. Next one we have are the clear beam saber effects. And of course, we have the beam saber handles, which are stored in the side skirts. And they also slide perfectly into the weapon holding hands. And just like the beam rifles, the beam sabers can also be combined together to form a dual bladed beam saber. And it should look like this. Next, we have the clear beam shield effect. To put this on, you will need to remove first the red part in the forearm guard and then connect it into the shield. And then attach the shield into the forearm guard. So it should look like this. Before we move over to the Wings of the Skies or the Wings of Flight effects, let me show you some extras which I think that even the P Bandai one doesn't have. So this kit came with not one but two alternate blue V-fins. I'm not entirely sure what these are for, but I don't think that they would look good into the Strike Freedom. For the next one, this kit comes with a movable action base, a water slide decal sheet. So now, finally, we have here the Wings of Lights or the Wings of the Skies effects. So these are nice clear blue plastics. And there's four of them. One for each wing segment. Other than that, we also have here the thruster effects for the dragoons. Now let me show you how to put this on, at least for just one wing segment. I'll show it in a fast forward. So it should look like this. At the pointy end, you'll see a groove slit where you can also slide in the dragoons, and it would look like that the dragoons have just been ejected. And of course the thruster effects for the dragoons. Each Wings of Light's effect has two diamond-shaped holes, which serves as the slots for the thruster effects. It should look like this in a full burst mode. Here's how it looks like with the Wings of Light effects. And here's how it looks like with the dragoons attached. And finally, in the full burst mode. As I end this review, all I can say is that I really liked how the GK brand has made this kit. Considering the price, the quality, and the overall looks, I'm gonna give this a rating of 10 out of 10, at least for a knockoff. I'd still recommend getting the real one, despite having a price that is almost triple of this, especially nowadays. And if you have the means, I'd suggest also getting the P Bandai one. But if you just like a nice looking high grade Strike Freedom model kit that comes with Wings of Light effects, I suggest getting this one. And that is it for this review. If you liked it, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more videos like this. I'll see you on my next video. Thank you so much for watching.